You're about to leave reality and enter the world of fantasy sports.
And now, from the Sports Center in East Hampton, New York.
Sports!
Hello there, boys and girls, and welcome to Sports Talk, where we make fantasy sports into a reality. You can check us every single week right here at Shports.com, as well as YouTube.com/Fanalist. Pretty cool stuff there because of Circuit City. In fact, right now, you could vote who is the next big-time fantasy sports expert, part of the Fanalist program. Check it out, YouTube.com/Fanalist. In the meantime, we've got some work to do here, and that is the Sports Talk Stock Report. We're going to start with the Bowl Report, and that is where there's certainly some good news in Chicago, especially with that passing offense. Who would have thunk it a couple of years ago? In 2005, Kyle Orton was passing for fewer than 125 yards per game. Well, fast forward now, he's averaging over 220. Well, that's largely in part to a big performance this past weekend. Over 330 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Now, that's 3 consecutive games with multi-touchdowns. How's he doing it? Very simple. Check out the list of all the players playing on the Bears these days as far as receivers go. You've got Brandon Lloyd, who's been very impressive so far. Rashid Davis, a pleasant surprise. Devin Hester, a playmaker there. Greg Olsen, the big-time tight end they drafted a year ago. And then, of course, Desmond Clark. And that's not even mentioning Matt Forte, who's been fine on the grounds, but also as a receiver. The Bears are moving the ball in the air these days. Kyle Orton is a player you certainly do want to invest in. As far as someone you want to cut your losses with right now, don't drop him, but consider trading him. Tony Gonzalez, the legendary tight end for the Kansas City Chiefs. He set a nice record this past weekend. That was the only good to come out of it. He had 17 total receiving yards. In fact, he hasn't had as many as 50 receiving yards since the season opener. Things are bad in Kansas City right now. There's no continuity as far as the passing attack. There's been a fair share of injuries as well. Even Larry Johnson's bedeviled fantasy owner so far. There's not going to be much consistency from a tight end who gave you nearly 1,200 receiving yards a season ago. This year, we'll be lucky if he gets 900. Consider trading Tony Gonzalez to a team that is desperate for a tight end. Finally, a player that you might want to actually sell while his stock is soaring, and that's in the Big Apple right now. Eli Manning has been sensational. People are already discussing who is the better Manning in the NFL. Well, he's earned it. 6 touchdowns, 1 interception, but take a look at the numbers last year at this point in the season. 6 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Those are very comparable numbers, but went on from there. Not that much good until the very late part of the season. In fact, he ended up going on to throw 17 touchdowns and 16 interceptions in the next 12 games. The weather is going to get ugly in the Meadowlands, and Giants Stadium is not protected against that wind. So that being said, there will be some interceptions. In addition, when the weather gets bad, the Giants have a very, very good option of putting the ball on the ground with Brandon Jacobs, Derek Ward, as well as Ahmad Bradshaw. So there's no need to force the pass. My guess is right now, his stock is as high as it ever will be for this season. Eli Manning is a great quarterback, but there's other ones out there that you could get for a cheaper price. Go ahead and sell Eli Manning while his stock is high. Get another player to bring on in, maybe a running back, a wide receiver, and use a Kurt Warner or Brett Favre or another quarterback that's been fine so far, but maybe not with the gaudy statistics of an Eli Manning. Well, my friends, that is your Sports Talk Stock Report. Again, you can check us out at youtube.com/Fanalist. Also, at Shports.com, we keep you busy when it comes to fantasy football. Right now, we have plenty of player news on there, including the latest on Brian Westbrook. We also have a forum. If you have a question about who to start, who to bench, go ahead, post your question. I guarantee you our lead expert, Butch Husky, will get back to you. Well, my friends, may the sports be with you.